All right, good evening, everyone. We are just missing, well, we'll get in a second. I want to welcome everyone to the Senate Democratic Caucus. I want to first thank you for being here, and I want to congratulate all of my colleagues on your successful election victories. They are not easy to do, and I know that we are all happy with our results here, and very proud to see all of you once again in this room. The first thing on our order of business is the roll call of our caucus members and the senators-elect. I'm going to begin doing that, and if you could just please state whether you are present. Senator Costa.
Present.
Senator Bell.
Here.
Senator Brito.
Present.
Senator Burke.
Here.
Senator Chacon.
Here.
Senator DeMario.
Here.
Senator DePalma.
Here.
Senator Oyer.
Here.
Senator Felag.
Present.
Senator Gallo.
Present.
Senator Gu.
Present.
Senator Coleman.
Here.
Senator Lamont.
Present.
Senator Loria.
Present.
Senator Lawson.
Present.
Senator Lombardi. Senator Mack.
Present.
Senator McKinney.
Here.
Senator Miller. Senator Murray.
Present.
Senator Pearson, here. Senator Picard. Senator Casado. Senator Caucus. Senator Ruggiero.
President by proxy.
Do you have a proxy, Senator? Thank you. Senator Ruggiero.
Here.
Senator Sosnowski.
Present.
Senator Coyne.
Present.
Senator Rujafusa.
Here.
Senator Alberti.
Here.
Senator Zurier.
Here. Point of order?
Not in order yet, Mr. Chairman. I'm not finished the roll call. Senator Basilian.
Present.
Senator-elect Apollonia.
Present.
Senator-elect Dimitri.
Present.
Senator-elect Paduano.
Present.
Senator-elect Thompson.
Present.
Senator-elect Urso.
Present.
Senator-elect Vargas.
Present.
There are 33 members in attendance. We do have a quorum. Next on our agenda is endorsement of a candidate for Senate President for the 25-26 year.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Senator McKinney as the chair of the caucus pursuant to the valid call of the caucus by Senate President Ruggiero on behalf of the majority of the senators in the chamber and present today. And I move that we make a roll call vote on that.
Second. I second that.
Senator, are you moving the rules that were proposed by Senator Ruggiero, or what are you moving?
At this time, only the chair of the caucus to be Senator McKinney.
Okay.
Second that.
There's been a motion to change the chair of the caucus, which would be a change of the rules. Seconded. All those we'll do a roll call vote. There's one requested. Senator Costa.
No.
Senator Bell.
Yes.
Senator Brito.
Yes.
Senator Burke.
Yes.
Senator Chacon.
Yes.
Senator DeMario.
No.
Senator DePalma.
Yes.
Senator Oyer.
No.
Senator Felag.
Yes.
Senator Gallo.
Yes.
Senator Gu.
No.
Senator Coleman.
No.
Senator Lamont.
Yes.
Senator Loria.
No.
Senator Lawson.
Yes.
Senator Lombardi. Senator Mack.
No.
Senator McKinney.
Yes.
Senator Miller. Senator Murray.
Yes.
Senator Pearson votes no. Senator Picard. Senator Casado.
Yes.
No.
Oh, next time, next time. Okay.
Senator Raptakis.
Yes, by proxy.
Point of order.
Yeah, that's, the proxy is not authorizing that.
Yeah, there are 3 proxies in there specifically states.
Yeah, but how can you proxy something that's not on the agenda?
I'm gonna look at that now, Senator.
Go to the rules, go to the,
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda.
It's on the only, it's on the agenda.
Gentlemen, please, just, can I read the caucus, please? The proxy, please. Senator Councilor Mountain, you indicated that the proxy, you were moving that was not the rules. I do not see a proxy here for this particular motion. Person is absent. Senator Ruggiero.
Aye.
Senator Sosnowski.
Yes.
Senator Takoyan.
Yes.
Senator Ujafusa.
No.
Senator Valverde.
No.
Senator Zurrier.
No. I'd ask a point of order to include the Senate-elect in that, if we're forward-looking for the new caucus of
There
2025,
are
26.
14 members in the affirmative. This vote requires 20 in the affirmative. per
Point
the
of
rules of
order,
caucus.
point of order.
Hold
Point of
on,
order.
gentlemen. We
No,
will do
there's
this
a point, no,
correctly.
there's a point of order here.
Your point of order,
The
Senator.
point of order is we had a roll call vote of all the members that are here. The current members that are not elected, as the rules indicate, are not part of the membership. The members-elect are members of Caucus. We did not call their vote.
Correct.
There are
Senator.
Let me finish. There are 5 folks that have not been called yet. They need to be called. They are members of this caucus.
Senator. Senator.
We are disenfranchising
The past practice of this caucus has been when the new rules are adopted, new members are adopted. If you'd like to move on to moving the rules that admit those members of the caucus, I'm happy to do so. But that is not the motion before us.
Mr. Chairman, I've been to, this is my 9th caucus.
I understand,
Let me
Senator.
finish. My 9th caucus. We have never disenfranchised these members. We made a roll call, including the members here. The only way we can have a quorum is we included those members in here. Those members need to vote.
Senator, if you
Point of
want
order.
to take that
Point of
issue up,
order.
if you want
As
to
a
take that
sworn
issue
in
up.
and duly holding office member of the Senate ever been excluded from the caucus, Mr. Chairman?
Senator, I'm reading Senate Rule 4 of the Democratic Caucus Rules. The Democratic senators elected November 8, 2022 shall constitute the Senate Democratic Caucus.
I would make a motion to admit you to the caucus.
Seconded.
If you'd like to make that motion, Senator, I'm sure that their members are happy to do that.
And I move a second motion to move all elected.
Let's stick with me first.
Oh, about you?
Roll call.
Second.
Gentlemen, can we just go to the rules vote, please?
Yeah.
I would have failed. It failed. The first vote failed.
No, we-
I challenge the rule of the chair. Let's have a roll call vote.
Shall the ruling of the chair be upheld? We'll do this again.
Including the new members.
Not there, Senator. So we're going to do the same. We're going to do the same vote over and over again.
We're here for a caucus for the 2025-2026 session. There is no business
Gentlemen.
before this body that's going to change anything from the 2023-2024. We are forward-looking.
Gentlemen, if you would like to make a motion to adopt, I would entertain a motion on the floor from Senator Wade to adopt the rules and admit the new members. Senator, do you make that motion?
I think it is important.
Senator, you're not recognized. I'm
Down.
sorry.
Down.
Sam, please sit down. You're not recognized.
I think it's important.
You recognize, raise your hand.
I think it is important that we.
Senator, you're out of order.
Please, please.
We dismissed them.
I think it's important that we understand
Senator, you're not
how.
recognized. Senator Oya.
Senator Pearson, please.
Senator, you're not recognized. I cannot recognize you. That would not be fair to every other member.
There isn't a
Do you have a
substantial.
motion?
No, I want to actually speak, and it would be very nice if you would allow me to
Senator,
do
you
so.
cannot do that. Senator, would you please?
Let me.
I love Sam Bell, but I believe that you are not authorized to speak at this moment. so-
Please allow me to explain.
No.
No, you can't even hear anything. Goodness.
This
Let me.
is not a time to take over, Sam.
I'm not trying to take over. I want to
Really, this
stand
looks
up
like it.
and say something. Okay?
You can't do that.
Can't do that. Cool. Lovely. Now, what I'm going to say is this. We, under the rules.
I'm just as tired of young white men as I am.
Oh,
Sit
please.
down.
Please. The reality is, when the new Senate is elected,
Now, Sam.
We have-
It's a point of order.
we have
Let him
we do not come in,
Please. No, please. You have plenty of time to speak, not now.
we do not come in.
Motion to
adopt the rules of the Senate.
Senator Oya moves to adopt the rules as proposed by the chair, second by Senator Acosta. The rules that as proposed by the chair are properly before the caucus. Is there discussion on the rules before the caucus?
Discussion, what rules are we talking about?
Rules version 1 as proposed by the chair was in the envelope that was handed to you and emailed to you this
I
morning.
make discussion. Again, I have to,
Is there any discussion on these rules, Senator Lamont?
thank you. Again, these rules are not properly before us. Respectfully, Leader Pearson does not have the authority to call the caucus because it has to be at the directive of the president. The president did not direct you respectfully to call this caucus. A majority of the members called the caucus and the president directed that respect to call the caucus. There is no legal standing or standing from our rules for the 2023-2024 or our proposed rules, the only ones actually proposed currently by the president under our rules and practice. And those are the only ones before this body that can be voted on currently because this is not a legitimate call of the caucus by you in all respects.
Is there other discussion on these rules?
I think, I'm just gonna ask a level of basic politeness.
You're recognized, Senator Bell.
Thank you.
On the rules.
Allow me to speak out of basic politeness about the topic of rules. What I want to say is this. I know people are horrified by the idea that I could speak, that we could have this, whatever. The reality is, when we come together as a newly elected group of senators, the first thing on the agenda of our caucus has been the adoption of rules. And that's because nothing about the previous Senate ever gets to bind the new caucus. It is an incredibly abusive interpretation of the rules to say that any leadership from the old caucus, an existing majority leader, could get to stand up and dictate how things have gone. And I was shocked that an existing majority leader would try to come in and assert that. We gather together as a newly elected group of senators, and we get to vote to propose new rules. The old caucus does not control the new Senate. And it is when Donna Nesselbush and I spoke out early on the rules, one of the things we objected to was that the initial rules said that the majority leader nominee would come in and start off by doing it. But never have I heard asserted that that happens without a vote, that authority comes without even a vote. That is shocking. The new group of senators, and to exclude newly elected senators is wild. It is authoritarian. We are better than that. And quite frankly, it was a great gesture for the newly proposed rules to not come in and start off by having Val Lawson at the head to do it. I really appreciated that gesture. And I would like to ask Senator Pearson to understand that it is an abusive tactic. And I think if we're going to continue the chair, Mr. Pearson, continue to do things like deny new senators, we're going to hear that. We
Senator, I
need a
want to
new
correct you
chair
factually. The rules that have been moved
to
and
come in.
properly before the Senate today, before the caucus right now, include the language that says that get a Democratic senators and senators-elect November 5th, 2024, or thereafter shall constitute the caucus.
Oh my goodness, we are asserting rules that have not been voted on?
No, Senator, you're saying that the new caucus always takes up new rules. That's the first thing that usually happens. It's properly before us. That's the motion. Senator Acosta, you're recognized.
And if we want to have a vote on that, fine. We
Come
can vote
on,
on that.
man. You're
and
not
then vote on
recognized
it.
anymore. Sit down. You got to talk, right? So sit down.
Senator Acosta, you're recognized.
Thank you. I would like to see the call of the caucus, which I have asked for twice now in writing, and I can provide documentation of that. When I received notice that the caucus was being called by a majority of members, I asked for the letter indicating that a majority had signed. I have yet to receive that letter. I have asked for that letter twice to the Secretary of the President, and in one of those communications included the Chief of Staff. I am still waiting to receive that letter. On the point of rules, it is the ultimate irony that one of the people seeking to get admitted to be a voting member of the caucus today wrote the initial rules that excludes them at the present moment. To address my colleague's point about admitting the senators-elect, the motion before us would do that. And so, vote and move it. Thank you.
Mr. President, I object to the motion we have before us. As Senator Mountain indicated, it's not a valid motion. The valid motion we should have before us, the only valid agenda are the rules that's sent by the Senate President. And I believe our lawyer has all the letters that were signed. This caucus was called at the request of the majority of the senators, not by yourself, to the Senate President.
No.
Let me finish, please. At the request of the Senate, duly provided to by the letters by the majority of those senators, that agenda that got sent out and those rules that got sent out are the only valid rules that we need to do that. If we need to take a motion, take a vote on it, I call a vote on that otherwise.
Senator, any senator can propose any set of rules that they want.
We have a set of rules.
It doesn't have to come from me, doesn't have to come to the president, it
We
can
have
come
a
from any
set,
senator.
Mr. President, we have a set of, Mr. Chairman, we have a set of rules that came from the Senate President. The meeting was called by the Senate President. Those are the rules that are supposed to be before us.
Is there another discussion on the rules that are properly before us? Senator Mack?
I also requested the letter calling this caucus by a majority. I have not seen that. I came at the call of the chair of the caucus.
Mr. President, I recommend make a motion to lay this on the table.
There's a motion that's pending before the.
I would say we put the motion on the table.
Seconded.
I believe it's, okay. Motion to lay the adoption of this particular set of rules on the table. Roll call, well, actually, it's a voice vote. All those in favor of laying on the table, please say aye. All those opposed say nay.
Aye.
Nay?
Nay.
Nays have it?
He got it done.
Would you like to request a roll call vote?
Including senators elect.
Gentlemen, I'm trying to adopt rules that bring
Including
the senators.
senators elect.
Roll call, including senators elect.
If there's a
Don't throw sworn into the Senate.
if there's a roll call,
It is absurd.
gentlemen, if there's a roll call vote, I will take it now. Motion to lay these rules on the table and not adopt new rules. Senator Acosta.
And not adopt these rules.
Sorry, say that again, Chairman.
And not adopt
Not
these
adopt
rules.
these rules.
That's the motion.
That's the motion.
Okay, lay these on the table and don't adopt them.
Correct.
Okay. There's a motion to lay these rules as presented on the table and not adopt them. Roll call vote. Senator Acosta.
No.
Senator Bell.
Yes.
Senator Brito.
Yes.
Senator Burke.
Yes.
Senator Chacon.
Yes.
Senator Mario.
No.
Senator Palmer.
Yes.
Senator Oyer.
No.
Senator Filak.
Yes.
Senator Gallo.
Yes.
Senator Gu.
No.
Senator Coleman.
No.
Senator LaMountain.
Yes.
Senator Lorio.
No.
Senator Lawson.
Yes.
Senator Lombardi.
Well, buddy, why are you not present?
He's not present.
Senator Mack.
No.
Senator Mack.
No.
Senator McKinney.
Yes.
Senator Miller. Senator Murray.
Yes.
Senator Pearson votes no. Senator Picard, present. Senator Casada.
Yeah. No.
Senator Ratakis.
Yes, by proxy.
Not in the ballot box. Senator Ruggiero. Senator Ruggiero.
Yes.
Senator Sosnowski.
Yes.
Senator Coyne.
Yes.
Senator Jufusa.
No.
Senator Valverde.
No.
Senator Zurier.
Point
Just
of order.
please let me count.
Point of order, you need to include the current members. This is they are members, Senator, they are members.
Point of order.
Point of order, past practice, Mr. Chairman, this is my 8th Senate caucus. Every Senate caucus before, every decision we made was voted on by all the members elected. even when I'm in my first year.
Point of order, if you were gonna do things by tradition, then you wouldn't have rules adopted every 2 years.
We have everybody vote, Senator. Don't dis-
Gentlemen,
Point of
can
order,
I just please, let me get this vote out.
A point of order before
14 vote in the affirmative to lay those rules on the table, 12 in the negative.
the majority has it.
The majority has it, those rules are laid on the table. Is there another motion
I
for
make
other
a
rules?
motion to adopt the proper rules set forth by Senate President Ruggiero.
I'll second that
Thank you,
motion.
gentlemen, that was what I needed you to do. There's a motion before us to adopt the rules that say Senate Democratic Caucus Legislative 2526 that was sent to us by Senator Ruggiero. That was before us. There is a motion, there is a second. Is there any discussion on the rules before us? Senator Oyer.
Would the, I guess, board sponsor yield to a question about the said rules?
Senator Ruggiero, will you yield to a question about the rules?
For sponsor.
Board sponsor?
Yes. Yes.
Mountain, yes.
There's a lengthy new addition to these rules about, and I wasn't given a copy, so I don't have it, but I did see it in my email. But it basically is a rule about letting the Rules Committee come up with some additional procedures. And I was just wondering if you could explain what the meaning is behind that and what the purpose is of that addition.
I think I would need a little more clarity on to what specific the question is. We could,
So rule number 13. Rule number 12 and rule number 13, I would like an explanation on. I believe,
same as the prior.
no, so Senate Rule 12 is actually the same as what it was in previous years, but rule number 13 is brand new, and I would like an explanation about what that rule is intended to accommodate.
What number, Senator?
Question from Senator Oyer was about rule number 13 is a new rule. That is what was for clarification.
My glasses. Okay, yes, Senator, if I may.
Chairman Conlon.
Just Senator Conlon.
So yes, Senator, great question. This goes back to, sorry, I gotta take the glasses off in order to read a little better. Put them on, but put them on, I can't see it. You look like a bunch of dirty board. This goes back to when I was chair of the Rules, became chair of the Rules Committee in 2020. As a request from the body at the caucus, and I think Senator Bell, amongst others, had many, Senator Mendes, Senator Caucus, and I think Senator Anderson, and one other senator, I can't think of her name right now, from Warwick, I think it was. I had recommended some changes about this. These were put in as a result of that, those changes back in 2020. So that was a result of the, when I chaired Rules Committee, government, rules got government ethics and oversight in 2020, the session of 2021 and 2022. So is there a specific question about it, or specific, or just where it came from?
Well, the purpose of it, because it seems like a lengthy new addition, we, by practice in the Senate session, have always adopted the rules through the Rules and Oversight Committee, so it seems to me to be noteworthy to add an entire lengthy rule apparently delegating through the caucus additional authority.
Well, also said, yeah, okay, sorry, no.
Yep, no, go ahead.
So you'll see the piece in there, that committee chairperson shall prior to February 7, 2025, report the committee findings to the President of the Senate and present to the Senate, present to the President of the Senate the committee recommendations of rules to be adopted by the Senate. So this was put in there because we wanted to ensure that there was an appropriate time. I think Senator Acosta, sorry, Mr. Report, you were doing 2020 as well. Senator Give anyone else that's new with.
Senator Matt, Senator
Senator Mack. That's right, Senator Mack was new as well. That came to that, we wanted to make sure, there were many other changes that were there, first when we met at the
Marriott.
Marriott Hotel on Orange Street. During COVID, we said there were some additional changes we wanted. We would handle that during the Rules Committee meeting in February, or in January. So as a result of that, these were put in place because of that.
So can you just enlighten me why, like what the purpose is for that additional necessary language?
I'd have to go back and look at the hearings we had that are online from all of these, of which Senator Acosta and other members here were members of the Rules Committee. If I was just standing here right now and had exactly one for one, I have to go back and look at the hearing. Remember the video from that, which I tried to put that video from the Oversight Committee just the other day. Not for real estate.
Senator Caucus.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. It is both bad practice and against Masons to name folks by their name. And so in Rules 1 and 2, we call out Mark McKinney and Louis De Palma. Actually, in fact, our current rules also make the same mistake by calling the Secretary Senator Goodwin rather than the position, which we currently find ourselves without a secretary because she has passed. And so it would make more sense to amend the rules to name the position, that is, for the person designated by position to carry out certain functions than it would be to name an individual.
Is that a motion, Senator? Is that a motion to amend, or are you just making a point?
Well, so what I would say is, if we were, or if I were to make a motion to amend, I need to know who they want. So why is the Secretary of the Caucus Senator Louis De Palma? It could be whoever is the chair of finance, or it could be whoever is the deputy, majority, whatever, but it makes no sense to name an individual. That's not good practice or in Mason's rule.
Senator Bell.
I think Senator Costa makes a valid point, right? It is the case that naming people is a little unusual. But this is actually something that I think is a really important gesture of good faith in these rules. And it is disappointing that it has not been taken that way. At the very beginning, one of the things that John and Esther Bush and I objected to was the fact that we were coming in asserting that there was going to be the old leadership or the caucus nominee for leadership, the person who was going to be majority leader, started out presiding over that vote before the vote was taken. And the idea of having the rules chairman do it, someone who is not coming in as the person who is being voted on as the person who is then going to be chairing the caucus, addresses conflict of interest. And I think we have seen here tonight how that position can be abused. And that is wrong. And I think it is a great gesture of good faith that these rules don't come in saying, as would normally be the practice, Senator Lawson shall chair. That didn't happen. That was an incredible gesture of good faith, a substantial opening of process, and it was not respected and met with, instead, quite shocking behavior where someone came in and tried to exclude senators from voting using that chair position. And that is wrong, and that's why this change makes sense.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Giuffre.
No, I want to make a motion that this has to be wrapped up first.
Senator Costa.
Well, I appreciate a good straw man, particularly in the fall. I will point out that my gripe here is that the person is named rather than their title. I have no problem with the rules stating the chairperson of X. The problem with the rules as we've written them is that they name individuals who are mortal and who may die, as we've had someone. And so right now we have no secretary because our rules said the chairperson was Senator Goodwin instead of the secretary is the whip. That's my point.
Senator Bell.
And that, I understand where that's coming from. I get that. The reality is, though, because We are reconstituting the Senate from the beginning, right? We are not assuming who's going to be president, who's going to be leader. It starts with a blank slate anew. And that's why it has to name people and not positions.
Senator Coleman.
If we moved on from this, I'd like to make a motion to amend a different rule, if we're ready for that.
It's in order, Senator.
Okay.
You have a motion on the floor.
So, Senator
Is there a
Pearson.
motion? Sorry. Senator Lawson, is there a motion?
So, no, I just, discussion. I just want to clarify, I think, for the room, what Senator Bell's saying in regards. So we're here to bring together the caucus for the next 2 years. Therefore, we have no chair of oversight. We have no chair of anything, Senate President. So therefore, we can't name, we have to name an individual as opposed to a chair because we have no chairs in place for this next session. This is the caucus for this next session.
Senator Costa.
That's actually not true. We haven't closed the legislative session, right? The legislative session is open, so the current active chairs are the active chairs. The current president is the president. The current leader is the leader, and the current whip is the whip, because we haven't closed out. That session is still open.
Senator Coleman and Senator Lamont.
So I would like to raise a point on actually item 10 here of the proposed new rules that came from Senator Ruggiero.
Can we resolve the motion on the floor, please?
Wait, I'm gonna have where the
It's
motion
been moved and
is.
seconded.
There's a motion. We're on discussion.
There is a motion. We have a motion on the floor.
What's the motion?
Yeah, it's adopted.
Adopt the new rules.
I'm aware that that's the thing. We are now in discussion on that motion.
Correct.
So my comment,
Discussion's in order,
thank you,
Senator
colleagues.
Coleman.
My comment is that rule number 10 here in the current, the rule proposed by Senator Ruggiero says that voting for majority leader and caucus nominee for the office of president of the Senate shall be by roll call, all other votes by the motion. What I would like to see, or what I'd like to have an understanding of, is why that is there. The rules proposed by Leader Pearson are talking about voting for the majority leader and caucus nominees for office of the president of the Senate by secret paper ballot. This is a practice that Congress uses. They use it for a reason. And it is my opinion that that's something we should consider. So I'd like to hear if the sponsors would yield why that is not something that they would embrace.
Would the sponsor yield?
Yes. Senator, thank you for bringing that up. I was hoping it was going to come up. There's not a vote we take in the entire Senate that's to go. Not a vote that we take. In fact, our caucus is open. Every vote we take is open to yay or nay. Vote is yay or nay on resolutions. If not, we want a vote tally. We take a red or green button. All of our votes are tallied by the person making the vote, unless it's a voice vote in the case of a resolution. None of our votes are secret.
Senator Pearson.
I'd like to make a motion then to
We have a motion.
No, a motion to amend the proposed rules. Is that,
That's in order.
okay, that's in order. And the motion would be to include what was in paragraph 10 that Senator Coleman just referred to as amending the current proposed rules. And that amendment would read as follows. Voting for majority leader and for caucus nominee for the office of president of the Senate shall be by secret paper ballot. Other votes shall be via voice vote, except that a roll call vote shall be held if requested by a Democratic senator. So I am requesting that amendment be made to the rules that we are currently being asked to vote on, and I would ask for a roll call vote on that.
There's a motion made by Senator Rafusa to amend the rules presented by the Senate President, rule number 10, to change voting for majority leader and for caucus nominee for the office of President of the Senate shall be by secret paper ballot. Is there a second to that motion? There's a second by Senator Coleman, Senator Acosta. All those in, discussion. Sorry.
Yes, sir. So if I understood what Senator, I'm going to be sarcastic for a second, unfortunately. I don't want to be, but what I understood what Senator Rafusa just put forward is, she wants a roll call vote on this motion, but we don't want to do a roll call vote on the person who we're going to have lead us for the next 2 years as a Senate President nominee, or as our majority leader. We want to do that in private. I think the travesty of who we are, what we've done, and I never want to say because this is my 8 caucuses before, other people have been through 20 caucuses before. 2 doesn't make a difference how many you've been for. We are an open body. We have the press here, we want the press to, want this to be open. They asked, like you said, Senator Chairman, it's open. We want this to be. I'm going to be as respectful as I can. We want this to be open. All of our votes are open. I've never taken a vote in 16 sessions where I've done it in hiding. All of my votes are in hiding.
Is there other discussion on this amendment, Senator Chacon?
Yeah. Since 2002, when I was first elected, every single caucus was by a roll call vote, and I don't know why we're changing it now. I mean, you're changing the whole dynamics of how this Senate worked from when I got in 2002. There was never a secret ballot. Everyone stood up and took their position on who they were voting for. Now, me asking for a secret ballot is totally, I mean, we're supposed to be all colleagues here. And if we don't have the gall to stand up and say how we feel and who we're voting for, that's a disgrace.
Senator Mack or Senator Hess?
I would just like to point out that the media was not originally invited and was suggested not to attend. So we do not have a precedent for openness to the media. And that was stated earlier in communication that media would not be allowed, except that our chair that did call this caucus did request that the media do attend.
Is there other discussion on this amendment, Senator Lamont?
Well, the sponsor of the floor amendment yields to a question.
Senator Chacon, yield.
Yes.
Yield.
But what is the logic and reason behind having a secret ballot and also requesting a roll call vote for such amendment?
Sure, it's because the votes for Senate President and Majority Leader, when they're in the open, subject my colleagues and myself to potential retribution. And I understand if you do not feel that that is true, then vote it down. But I think that we all have the right to know how you feel about that. If you believe I'm wrong, that's fine. Vote against this amendment. But that is a potential. If you want to say that it's not a potential, that is fine. You vote against my amendment. And I just think that that should be recorded so people understand where everyone stands. That's all.
Senator Costa and Senator Lamont.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. One of my colleagues noted that we are changing the dynamic of the Senate. And I will acknowledge that if we look from what the Senate quite literally looked like in 2002 to what it looks like today in 2024, the dynamic has changed. We have more women. We have more people of color. And as a student of Latino politics in this state, I can tell you that from the early 1990s, when we first stepped foot into the State House, we have faced the kind of retribution and retaliation that my colleague is talking about. So maybe some of my colleagues don't have anything to fear, but I understand why some of us would and will support people in standing together. Now, if there's any fear about a public vote, we all know that in January, we will be clicking either a red or a green button for a vote. So you will have your day with the public. Thank you.
Senator Lamont.
With all due respect, we strive to be open and transparent in the Senate and General Assembly as a whole. I find it concerning that no one in this room that was here 2 years ago made this motion. I find it concerning that today, when we're trying to suppress Senator-elects and a current sitting senator who we've all served with, their voice to vote and be heard today initially. And now we want to do more things in secret. I find that highly troubling, and that not only now, certain individuals want to suppress those votes and also suppress the public from knowing, and our colleagues from knowing where we stand. We should be able to bring us together and move forward as a Senate together. At the end of the day, that should be our goal, and we need to move forward together in a public and open, transparent way.
Senator Mack.
I would like to thank my colleagues for their comments about openness and transparency. But unfortunately, that same call has not been answered. When we did reach out via email after we were informed that a caucus had been called by a majority of the senators, I requested that letter on November 1st, to the chief of staff of the Senate president and to his secretary and did not receive that letter back. That is not open and that is not transparent. That is a double standard. Please do not call on us to practice that transparency when that same graciousness has not been given to us when requested by the chief of staff of the Senate president and his secretary. Where is that letter and why, between November 1st when requested and now, when the caucus has apparently been called by a majority, that list has not been released? Why have we not seen that letter? That is the openness and transparency that I am looking for. Because to my knowledge, this caucus has been questioned about whether it was called by the chair, who, according to our rules, is the only one that can call it caucus without a majority, which we have not seen clear indication that there is one. So I would like to see that letter to know who has called this caucus and to also get more transparency into which one of my colleagues do not believe that our rules as written are worth following. We're creating a lot of new rules here today, and we're creating a lot of new precedent, and that is to intimidate and to further steamroll the voices of people who have clearly come together and said that we want to have more openness and more transparency into our next leadership going into a fiscal year where we face a budget deficit and where we could see more and more Rhode Islanders facing hardships. This is serious business. So can we please get the copy of the letter of the majority of senators?
So, a couple years ago when I first chaired opening day of the caucus, or the session, there was a lengthy discussion leading up to that about whether or not there would be the secret ballot or whether or not there would be, whether or not it would be a public vote. And, you know, I have to say that I definitely was at that time really thought, no, that makes a lot of sense, that should be public. But I have to say that with the engagement and the vitriol this evening and the engagement leading up to tonight's conversation is why I have actually changed my position on this. I've worked with people in this room for 7 years. We all work very hard and we give up a lot to be here. And the fact that there couldn't be a coming together prior to this to agree on an agenda, to agree on a handful of rules that could be a dispute, quite frankly, has steeled me in my position about wanting to move to different leadership. But all of that, and you in this room who are voting tonight, you all know the conversations that you've had, the innuendos that were thrown your way, because members came to me concerned about the conversations and the not so veiled threats that was given to them to even have a conversation.
Point of order, not germane to the motion.
So with that, I urge us to accept this amendment because the actions and the conversations and how the activity leading up to tonight has shown the need for a secret ballot.
Is there other discussion on this amendment to the rules? Chairman Holland.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As chair of the Rules Committee in 2020, and I believe I know what came out of, and watched some of the work of Senator McKinney and the rules of the chair of the Rules Etc. Committee in 2022 for 23 and 24. As mentioned earlier, this change that's being proposed has never been brought forward before tonight. With regards to the last 8 caucuses I've been at, started the second, rules are proposed at the request of the Senate President. They're put forward for the body to adjudicate them. And as I said, in 2020, we made several changes. In fact, Senator Bell made a change, was a great change, about working to have caucuses on a quarterly basis. That didn't exist before. That change came. The date about putting in there by when the rules were leaked came in there. As it relates to the second piece, and I'll end right after this. With regards to, as was mentioned earlier, we will in January have all of our votes public. It's just, I am at a loss for an understanding. I heard what was said, but I'm still at a loss for what will manifest itself in January with the same votes we're taking tonight in January. In January it's going to be okay, but tonight it's not. If this moves to a vote, I encourage all my colleagues to vote against this motion.
Is there additional discussion on the motion to amend the rules? Hearing none.
I make a motion to include the senators elect in this.
I'll second that roll call.
Senator, the rules before us that have already, the base rules.
How can we vote on rules that are going to bind elected senators that aren't sitting there?
They're in there.
Sorry, Senator, please make your point.
That there are rules before the floor that are going to bind the members that are about to be adopted into the caucus, and they don't have a say on them.
Senator, the rules that are before us are admitting them to the caucus.
They are also spelling out a whole bunch of things that are going to govern us for the next 2 years.
If they would like to, if we'd like to get to that point, we could admit them to the caucus as we have done for every.
I think they deserve a
2 years
say on the
before that.
rules.
I make a motion to admit them now to the caucus.
I second that.
Second.
Okay, there's an active, can we separate these two, please? There's an active vote of a motion to amend the rules as provided by the Senate President to include a secret paper ballot on item 10. If we could please take that vote, and we can then take that motion right after that, Senator. On the roll call vote for that motion.
This is point of order.
What's the point of order, Senator?
I'll go back to what Senator Bazillion said. We are disenfranchised.
Senator, if we could dispose of
Let
this
me-
motion,
let
I'm
me
happy to
finish.
take a motion.
This very amendment would govern us.
Right.
We deserve a say.
They need to be given, just let me be quick. We're disenfranchising the new members, including a sitting
I am
senator.
a sitting senator.
City senator, we're disenfranchising. That needs to be done first. First and foremost, if we're gonna include them in the vote, we're good. Otherwise, we're going in the wrong direction.
I'm happy to take that as the next motion, Senator.
No, they need to vote, no, they need to vote on the first motion. They need to vote, we have a point of order.
I make a motion to lay her motion on the table.
Second.
Second.
Can I amend my motion?
No.
We have a motion on the
Well, I
table.
would say,
goodness.
go ahead and
How
vote.
about we do this, Senator? Senator, for purposes of the point that are being made by my colleagues, would you be willing to withdraw your amendment at this time?
Yes,
So that way we could proceed with the motions being requested?
yes,
And then we could come back to that amendment at that time. Is that
Sure.
a fair compromise
Thank
for
you,
everyone?
thank you, sir.
yes.
Senator Lamountain, Senator Jafusa has withdrawn her
Second.
motion to amend. Senator Lamountain has made a motion to amend the current caucus rules to admit the senators that were elected in the election on November
No.
5th. Is that the correct motion, Senator?
Senators elect and Senator Basilian.
So all senators that were elected November 5th would encompass everyone. Is that the proper motion, Senator?
Second.
There's a second by Senator Palmer. That motion is now properly before us. Is there any discussion on that?
Just a question.
One question to exclude the so-called existing senators that are being replaced by an elected official.
I'd like to ask Senator Lamountain to amend his motion to do that.
Because I don't want one district to have 2 votes.
Senator Mountain agrees to amend his motion to state that we will admit all senators elected on November 5th, 2024, which would make it so that, and we would remove any members that were not elected November 5th, 2024. Is that correct, Senator?
Yes. Second.
That is the motion that's properly before us. Is there discussion on that motion?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Yes.
Just to make certain, once we do that, everyone present will then be able to vote on everything going forward from here.
If this motion passes, yes, Senator.
They say it's a motion to amend the
Thank
rules
you.
and it needs 2/3. This is an outrageous abuse of parliamentary power. I'm a sitting member of the
These are new
state
rules.
senate.
Let us vote on it then.
They're not the rules, it's a simple majority.
It's not the
not.
rules, it's a
It's
simple
2/3.
majority.
A simple majority for the rules.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Vote on it. and then
is there discussion, is there discussion on the motion that is before us, Senator Caucus?
Yes, so just to be clear, we would be amending the current rules, because we have not voted yet to adopt the new rules. And by amending the current rules pursuant to Rule 13, you need a 2/3 vote.
Discussion, please.
Senator Lamountain.
We are, again, 2 separate caucuses. We have a caucus, we're not changing anything with our current caucus. We're not seeking to change the president for our current caucus, the majority leader for our current caucus, anything for the 2023-2024 caucus. We are here together as a body for the 25-26 caucus. We're seeking to admit the senators-elect, as we previously stated, to take a vote on that so their voice can be heard.
Is there further discussion on this motion? Okay.
Point of clarification.
Senator Palmer.
Once we move forward from here, it's a simple majority, it's not 2/3. We are doing, it's not 2/3. We don't have rules, being new rules.
The motion is subject to Rule 13 of the current caucus rules that say, These caucus rules shall not be repealed, suspended, amended, or operation thereof temporarily suspended except for 2/3 vote of all the members of the Senate Democratic Caucus.
Mr. Chairman, due respect, we're voting on new rules. The old rules don't apply anymore. These are new rules. We're not, what typically, we're not modifying the existing rule set. We're moving on the rules of the new. These are a new set of rules. So we're not modifying them. We're not modifying the old rules, and we are disenfranchising those folks. It's about new rules. New rules. This is new rules.
We'd like to take the vote, and then we can proceed from there and wherever you'd like to go, Senator. Is there other discussion before we go to the vote? Hearing no more discussion.
Further discussion, if I may.
Chairman.
I've tried to avoid it, since
Yes.
I might be up in your place, but
This is going to be fun. I can't wait for you to be here.
I would submit that we should ask the parliamentarian, we have Ricky here, I believe, with respect to whether, in fact, we need to adhere to this as an amendment, or whether this is, in fact, because we have an entirely new, unique caucus, a matter that is subject only to a majority vote, rather than 2/3. And I think that should be posed to the parliamentarian.
Senator McKinney has a parliamentary inquiry on this debate on whether this would be does the parliamentarian have an opinion as to whether this is an amendment of the rules as is being presented?
It is not an amendment of the rules requiring 2/3. It is a simple majority.
Is there other questions on this motion?
So point of order, what's,
The
there will be the majority vote?
The parliamentarian will do that. I'm going to rule if the vote goes that way, that it doesn't meet 2/3, it's not a fail. So the vote before us right now,
Then we challenge the chair.
well, can we go through that process?
No,
So,
there's a challenge to the chair, it has to get accepted.
ladies and gentlemen, the motion before us is to make the changes in the caucus membership as proposed by Senator Lamothe. We're going to take a roll call vote on
No,
this.
there was a challenge to the ruling of the chair who is not legitimate. You cannot just deny a challenge to the ruling of the chair, that is absurd.
There's no rule to challenge it. I have a rule.
The parliamentary ruled, and then there was an assertion that you were gonna rule that there was gonna be a 2/3. We had Senator Lawson here, who has done the grace of not starting out by standing right there, which she should have done,
Ladies and gentlemen,
because
if we
this
can take,
grace was
if we can
not
take the vote,
accepted.
and I will happy to entertain a motion. for
Laura, do you
Senator
want to
Beck.
join the new senators up here? They're doing
I can see it from
Dumbest
here.
thing to do.
I can hear it from here.
If there's, I'm going to take this vote, and then if there's a ruling that would like to overturn the chair, we can take that. I'm just trying to follow the rules as presented, and we will get there, okay? So, the motion before us is to change the membership of the rules to admit the new senators elect to the caucus and to be able to remove the current senators to the caucus.
I would ask for correction. I don't believe it is to change the rules. The rules pertain to the 2003, 2004 caucus. These are new rules for a new and unique entity. And as a result, it is simply a motion that we not disenfranchise these 5 people who have stood before the electorate and have been six.
And they should be allowed to vote on this.
I am a sitting member.
And we need to include their vote.
Senators,
Point of order.
okay, senators, the current rules of the caucus speak to this issue. Let me just speak to this for a minute. Arguments that have been made here tonight are that under the current rules, there was a caucus that was called. In the letter that came from President Ruggiero, it said pursuant to the rules of the Senate Democratic Caucus, he asserted that he had a majority to call the caucus. Others have asserted that the current rules and other arguments you have made tonight apply. And so to cherry pick which rules apply and which rules do not apply is a very slippery slope. I'm trying to follow the letter of the rules. I'm trying to follow the letter of the rules that were written in 2022 and bind the caucus. And for what it's worth, these rules were written multiple years ago by some of the members that are objecting at this moment. So let's take the rules. We're going to take this vote. If you want to then overrule the chair and that vote is a majority, you are more than welcome to do so.
Point of order. Is there, if I may, is there anywhere in the rules that you're talking about from November of 2022 that pertain to the Democratic Caucus for the years 2023 and 24? Is there anywhere you can point to
where it allows for the disenfranchisement, which has never before been the case, of a sitting senator and 5 newly elected senators. Is there anywhere where that,
No, you said 5 senators, okay.
is there anywhere with that, which is a drastic action on
Senator,
behalf of
I'm going to tell
anybody?
you, I don't agree with it at all. I'm going to tell you that.
Is there anywhere you can point to where that is
Then why are you
expressly
appealing the
set
ruling
forth?
of the parliamentarian if you don't
In
agree?
Rule number
You've indicated
4.
you won't follow the parliamentarian's rule.
Rule number 4 of the caucus says, the Democratic senators elected November 8th, 2022 shall constitute the Senate Democratic Caucus. I am simply trying to follow that rule. I will note, in the rules presented by myself to this caucus, to which you voted to lay on the table, stated, the Democratic Senate, the rules that I presented earlier that you voted to lay on the table said, the Democratic senators and senators-elect elected November 5th, 2024 or thereafter shall constitute the Senate Democratic Caucus.
This clearly pertained to the 2023-24, November 8th, 2022 elections.
I understand.
It's never before been interpreted to include
I'm just,
elected
I know this is
officials.
going to be contentious. I'm just trying to follow the rules to the letter of what the rules
No,
are.
it's a bastardization of what the rules have
Then,
always been.
can we get to the point where you overrule me and I can get off this stage, please? Like, I'm really just waiting for that to happen, okay?
Don't make us overrule you.
I'd like you to overrule me, please.
Can we just so everybody's clear, we have a point of order, have you overruled the parliamentarian?
I have not made a ruling because you haven't taken a vote for me to
The
rule.
ruling hasn't come before the vote,
Correct.
isn't that correct?
He doesn't even have legitimacy.
Hang on. The ruling is before
The
the
ruling comes first.
Fine, then I will rule that this vote is subject to a good 2/3 majority.
We appeal that.
Repeal.
Appeal the ruling of the chair. Thank you. So there's an appeal the ruling of the chair. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Okay, the ayes have it. The vote will be subject to a simple majority. The motion to admit the senators that were elected and to remove the senators that were not elected November 5th, 2024 is now properly before us. Senator Mack?
Are we also removing the former caucus?
Yes. It's a double thing around admitting the new and excluding the old. That is now properly before us. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Those members are now admitted. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm sorry. Well, it's because you guys are...
I make a motion to appoint Chairman McKenney to run the remainder of the caucus.
Second.
There was a motion pending. There was a motion pending there was another motion pending to adopt the rules as presented by the Senate President Rodriguez. Is there further discussion on that motion that is currently pending?
Wait, we're going to reintroduce my amendment?
Senator Ujifusa moves her amendment on the secret ballot, seconded by Senator
I thought
Collins.
that was withdrawn.
She just moved
I
it.
just
Put it back up.
Okay.
That motion is now
Call to
properly.
question.
That motion is now before us. Is there any more discussion on that?
Call to
question. Okay. All those in favor of moving to a secret ballot, vote aye. All those opposed, no. Ayes?
Aye.
Nays?
No.
Let's go to a roll call vote. Senator Acosta. Senator Apollonio.
No.
Senator Bell.
No.
Senator Basilian.
No.
Senator Brito.
No.
Senator Burke.
No.
Senator Chacon.
No.
Senator DeMario.
Yes.
Senator Dimitri.
No.
Senator De Palma.
No.
Senator Boyer.
Yes.
Senator Feli.
No.
Senator Gallo.
No.
Senator Gu.
Yes.
Senator Coleman.
Yes.
Senator Lamont.
No.
Senator Loria.
Yes.
Senator Lawson.
No.
Senator Mack.
Yes.
Senator McKinney.
No.
Senator Murray.
No.
Senator Patalano.
No.
Senator-elect Patalano, I'm sorry.
No.
Senator Pearson votes yes. Senator Casada.
Yes.
Senator Brattakis.
No.
Not by, he's
Yeah, I did proxy to the rules.
on a secret ballot question.
On the amendment?
On the rules. On the rules.
This is on the amendment.
On the rules.
He can't rule on the amendment.
His rules. It's on the rules.
It's on the rules.
Anything associated.
It's on the rules.
His rules have the vote.
Right.
Sorry.
His rules have the vote as it is written. When you're not there, you can vote on the final piece of it.
He's voting on the rules as it is.
We're voting on an amendment right now. We're not voting on the rules as they are. What are you talking about?
Proxies.
Thank you, Senator.
Hold it in abeyance, proceed, Mr. Chairman, if you will.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going to matter, and I don't have a clear proxy on that, and I don't want to recognize that vote. Senator Ruggiero.
President.
No.
Senator Ruggiero.
No.
No. Senator Sosnowski.
No.
Senator Thompson.
No.
Senator Topoyan.
No.
Senator Ujafusa.
Yes.
Senator Urso.
No.
Senator Valverde.
Yes.
Senator Vargas.
No.
Senator Zurier.
Yes.
The 13 in favor, 18 is required, the amendment does not pass.
It's simple majority.
Sorry.
No, first of all, we want it to fail. Second of all, I had 12.
We all agree that the motion to
Amendment
amend does not
fails.
pass, correct?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, the rules that were presented now properly before us.
Calls the question on the adoption of the rules, Mr. Chairman.
There's a call to move the rules as presented by President Ruggiero.
Second.
There's a second to that. Those rules are now properly before us. First rule.
Call the question, Mr. Chair.
Let's about the vote. Sorry. I'm sorry?
Who was the vote on the last?
13 in favor, I'd have to do the math to figure those out. On the motion to adopt the rules as presented by President Ruggiero, Senator Acosta. I'm sorry, discussion.
Call the question.
Call the question. You can make more discussion.
That's fine.
No.
Senator Acosta, no. Senator-elect Apollonia.
Yes.
Senator Bell.
Yes.
Senator Basilian.
Yes.
Senator Brito.
Yes.
Senator Burke.
Yes.
Senator Chacon. Senator Mario.
No.
Senator-elect Dimitri.
Yes.
Senator DePalma.
Yes.
Senator Oyer.
No.
Senator Filek.
Yes.
Senator Gallo.
Yes.
Senator Gu.
No.
Senator Coleman.
No.
Senator Lamel.
Yes.
Senator Loria.
No.
Senator Lawson.
Yes.
Senator Mack.
No.
Senator McKinney.
Yes.
Yes.
Senator Murray. Senator-elect Catalano.
Yes.
Senator Pearson votes yes. Senator Casada. I'm sorry, Senator Pearson votes no. I apologize. Senator Casada.
No.
Senator Reptakis.
Proxy, yes.
Senator Reptakis by proxy, yes. Senator Ruggiero.
Yes.
Senator Sosnowski.
Yes.
Senator-elect Thompson.
Yes.
Senator Tokoyan.
Yes.
Senator Ujafusa.
Sorry, no.
Senator-elect Urso.
Yes.
Senator Valverde.
No.
Senator-elect Vargas.
Yes.
Senator Zurier. There are 22 in the affirmative, 12 in the negative. The new rules are adopted, and I'm happy to hand this over to Chairman McKinney.
Next item on the agenda is nominations for Senate Majority Leader. And I'll entertain a motion to open the floor to nominations for the office of Senate Majority Leader. Senator Gallo. So moved.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Senator Brito. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay? The ayes have it. At this time, I would ask for nominating remarks to be made. Senator Lord.
Good evening, my Democratic Senate colleagues. Tonight I am privileged and very proud to nominate Valerie Lawson as the Majority Leader of the Rhode Island Senate. As a distinguished member of this chamber since 2019, as a former Deputy Majority Leader, and most recently as Majority Whip, Val has proven her ability as a legislator and a leader. She has demonstrated a keen ability to listen to the needs and concerns of members of our caucus. During her time in the Senate, she has worked tirelessly to make progress on the biggest issues facing Rhode Island. And she succeeded through an approach built on collaboration and consensus. As the Majority Leader, Val will continue to bring us together around shared values. She will help us achieve our priorities for our constituents while guiding the Senate's incredibly important work. Again and again, Val has stood up for Rhode Island's working families. She has stood up for senior citizens and helped educators across our state. As a primary care provider myself, I want to highlight some of Val's work to improve our healthcare system, such as the sponsorship of laws that protect seniors from Medicare discrimination, provide coverage for the pediatric autoimmune disorders, enabling graduate nurses to start practicing sooner, and improve protections against lead poisoning. She has been a leader in the push to provide Rhode Island girls with the residential treatment beds that they need in our state. And as a fellow East Providence Senator, I want to commend the outstanding leadership Val has provided for all the East Bay colleagues in addressing the Washington Bridge fiasco, ensuring legislators are regularly updated, passing legislation to provide timely information to the public, and winning enactment of grants for impacted small businesses. I am truly honored to nominate Val Lawson for Majority Leader. She will be an outstanding leader for our caucus, and I ask each of you to join me in supporting her.
Is there a seconding speech? Senator Phelan.
Good evening, friends and colleagues. It is a pleasure and honor to stand before you. With great pride, I want to second the nomination of Senator Valerie Lawson as the Senate Majority Leader. I have been fortunate to serve in the Rhode Island Senate for 26 years. During that time, I've been afforded the opportunity to work alongside many different colleagues, all with various skill sets. Since the day she was sworn in as a member of this chamber, Val has stood out among us as an exceptional senator. She is a fellow champion for the East Bay and for the community of East Providence. As Senator Loria pointed out, she was very vocal and critical of the Washington Bridge and had the East Bay legislators get together to place legislation in there so that we would get monthly reports. Also, she was exceptional in having us meet on a weekly basis with the director of DOT to garner facts and figures so that we could inform our constituents of what was happening on that particular bridge. I know how much pride she takes in representing our part of the state, the people of her city, and more importantly, the people of Rhode Island. She is the leader for all the Rhode Islanders. As Senator Loria noticed, she has been a driving force behind many of the critical policy areas that we have undertaken in the past year. She has been effective in rallying the Senate to these causes, and she has earned our respect and admiration. It has been a difficult period for the Senate in the last couple of years. We have said goodbye to two of our most beloved colleagues, Senator Lombardo and Senator Goodwin. There has been other colleagues departed for new chapters in their lives. But throughout this whole transition, Whip Lawson has been a source of comfort and steady hand. She has helped all of us navigate these trying times while maintaining our focus on the work that brings us together. Val is absolutely the right choice for the right time to lead this Senate as Majority Leader. I am grateful for her friendship, her service, in her leadership. And I ask that you give me and join me in giving her your support. Thank you.
Are there any further nominations for the position of Majority Leader? Hearing none, entertain a motion from Senator Chacon.
Chairman McKinney, I move that floor be closed for further nominations for the office of Senate Majority Leader.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Or opposed, nay. The ayes have it. And at this time,
Mr. Chairman, can I request a roll call vote pursuant to Rule 10?
yes, and I will call upon Senator Palmer as secretary to call the vote.
That's the roll call.
Senator Acosta.
President.
That's a yes for Lawson, right?
Nope, Mr. President.
President. Okay. Senator Apolonio.
Yes.
Senator Bell.
Yes.
Senator Bazilian.
Lawson.
Senator Brill.
Yes.
Senator Burke.
Yes.
Senator Chacon.
Yes.
Senator Mario.
Yes.
Senator Dimitri.
Yes.
Senator Palmer. Senator Lawson. Senator Oyer.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Feelag.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Gallo.
Yes.
Senator Gu.
Yes.
Senator Coleman.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Monson.
Yes.
Senator Loria.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Lawson.
Yes.
Senator Lawson. Senator Mack.
Senator Lawson.
Senator McKinney.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Murray.
Yes.
Senator Padovano.
Yes.
Senator Pearson.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Quezada.
No.
Senator Raptakis.
Yes, by proxy.
Proxy. Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Sosnowski.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Thompson.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Tacoin.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Ujafusa.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Urso.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Valverde.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Vargas.
Senator Lawson.
Senator Zerrier.
Senator Lawson.
Okay, we have one no, one present. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31.
32, right? 32.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 20 plus one proxy. Senator Val Boston is a witness. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Wally, for the kind words. And thank you to all of my colleagues. I'm deeply humbled to have your support this evening, and I will work extremely hard every day to live up to this responsibility. President Ruggiero, thank you so much for your support. I know when I speak for the entire chamber, it's great to see you this evening and to serve alongside of you. As we know, everyone in this room, that the Senate has been a body that has provided strong leadership, addressing the serious challenges we face. And I look forward to working with everyone in this room to deliver results for our constituents, to deliver results for our constituents as we move forward. They deserve it. As we've witnessed tonight, we all bring forward different perspectives, and that's what makes this body so impressive and talented, and I'm honored to be a part of it. And I ask everyone in the room this evening to join us to work together over the next session to come together and have a unified chamber and to focus on the challenges that our state faces. And we've done good work. Last year, there are many things that we began the process of to address the healthcare crisis in Rhode Island, fully funding the Medicaid reimbursement rate, We increased funding formula for MLL learners, and we still have ways to go. We put a historic bond for housing on the November ballot, and we've helped retirees expand exemption from taxation, as well as giving active and retired public pension relief for public employees, and so much more. But as we all know, as we sit here today, this all happened because all of you in this room, but there's so much more that we need to do. And you know I'm a lifelong educator, and I believe that the focus we need to address in this state is lifting up everyone through that system. We need to build a quality education system through pre-K to higher ed. And we have done some good work on expanding childcare as well as universal pre-K. Senator Gallo has been a leader on that, but we need to continue that and make pre-K universal. We need to remove obstacles when kids are in school to learn, and we need to provide universal free meals, an issue that Senator Costa has championed, and many of us in this room. We realize how important that is to the process, as well as we need to ensure libraries can operate from free of partisan political attacks that Senator McKinney championed. In another area that we need to make law in Rhode Island is Senator Chacon's bill, where we have every Rhode Island resident who graduates a Rhode Island high school, from a Rhode Island high school is eligible for in-state tuition. We've done so many great things in Rhode Island around Rhode Island Promise at CCRI, and we've extended it to RIC, but this is an area where we can help another group of kids. And finally, on the education front, championed by former Senator, well, still current Senator, Roger Picard, is we need to have the right to a quality public education, and we need to put that in the Constitution. Other areas that we need to champion in this year is the extension of TCI. We had a little progress this year. We need to work harder to expand the weeks, but in addition to that, we also need to address the wage replacement. And I think we'll be able to do that. We've been in some conversations with DLT, and there is more reception now to the ability to be able to increase that wage replacement. And that'll make such a big difference in people's lives, because that's a stumbling block for people accessing TCI. And we know that's such an important policy because it impacts people in crucial periods in their life. And as Senator Loria mentioned earlier, a group of us a couple of years ago went to visit a residential treatment center, Senator DeMario, DePalma, and we were the driving force on that. And we were able to establish the funding for a residential facility in Exeter. We need to make sure that comes to fruition. We need to address that excess funds along with what's left, the money allocated to St. Mary's, and help those kids in need. We need facilities here in Rhode Island. As an educator, and Senator DeMario will tell you, we need to keep kids close to their network of their families and support system and provide a continuum of care and not send them out of state. It's just not good policy, and it doesn't help kids. So those are the things, some of the things we need to address as a body in the upcoming session. It's the right thing and moral thing to do to help those kids in need. In addition to the affordable housing crisis, I had mentioned the bond piece. We've done some work. I know it's been an issue of the House, but we have a past history of passing housing bonds, as well as ending Section 8 discrimination. And one policy that the policy office has been looking at was forwarded to me by a constituent, to the ability to create 529 plans for families so they can have a vehicle to save money, to build, to purchase homes in the future. So it's just an avenue, another way to make the process to buy a house more affordable. And I know later on this evening, the Senate President will also address some areas around healthcare, the environment, and the economic states. So as we move forward, there's so much talent in this room, and we all really want this state to be better and move for a stronger future. So I think we have the ability to be able to do that. And as I close, I would like to take a moment and to welcome the new members of this chamber. And one of the things I remember when I became a senator in 2018, and the Senate President and numerous other people said to me, this really is a family. And we really do have those relationships, and they matter. And I think we can continue in that atmosphere, and we'll be able to reunite and get there. So I'd like to thank all of the senators-elects for joining us and welcome you, Peter Apollonio, Andrew Dimitri, Lori Urso, Brian Thompson, Todd Padalano. It probably happens a lot. It was so funny, somebody said to me, Tiara said, I thought Dimitri was your first name. But Lori Urso and Lamas Vargas. So congratulations and welcome to the Senate. And congratulations to all of you today. I look forward to working with everybody in this room. In the past and I'm always available to you. And as I started, I'll do my very best to make this chamber strong and move our policies forward, because that's what our constituents and all of us know. That's why we're here, that's what they deserve, and that's what we're all passionate about. But thank you again.
Thank you, Leader. The caucus will now proceed to select the caucus nominee for President of the Senate.
Mr. Chair, I move that the floor be open to nominations for caucus nominee for the office of President of the Senate.
Second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. And at this time, we'll call upon Senator Ducoy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my fellow members of the Senate Democratic Caucus. I stand before you to proudly nominate my friend and our colleague, Senator Dominic Ruggiero, for a new term as President of the Senate. Dominic is the right choice to continue as Senate President. He's the right choice for so many reasons. First and foremost, he's an outstanding and proven leader who brings an experienced and steady hand to the Senate rostrum. Secondly, his knowledge of the Senate and dedication to this institution is absolutely unparalleled. Not only is Dominic determined, diligent, and passionate in his work, he is a deeply compassionate, kind, and thoughtful person. Over the summer, I was proud to walk Dominic Ruggiero's Senate District, supporting him as he tended to his health. The well wishes received at the door for this public servant were overwhelming. So many of his constituents praised his character and his commitment to the community. They believe deeply in him. And why do they believe so deeply in him? Because he always stood up for them. He always delivered results for them, just as he has done for this institution. I know many of us feel the same way about Dominic. Personally, he has always been so generous to me with his time, offering his sound guidance, support, advice, and counsel. And that, my fellow colleagues, comes with experience. His willingness to share his wisdom makes us all better leaders. Dominic Ruggiero sincerely values his colleagues, each and every one of us. There is no question about that. His warm smile, welcoming spirit has made each of us
feel very much at home in the chamber and as a member of this Senate. He always maintains an open door, an open mind, and welcomes all voices to the table. Above all else, my fellow colleagues, I know Dominic is committed. Dominic Ruggiero is committed to the core to ensure this institution, this chamber, and the Rhode Island Senate remain strong. With that said, I thank you for your indulgence, and I respectfully request you join me in supporting Dominic Ruggiero to continue as president of the Rhode Island Senate. Thank you.
Senator Murray, please.
Good evening, Senate Democratic colleagues. I stand before you to second the nomination of Dominic Ruggiero for a new term as Senate President. And I ask members of this caucus to join me in supporting Donnie, who has served this chamber with distinction for many years. He brings incredible institutional knowledge, and he knows how to achieve results on issues that matter. Donnie has guided over the Senate as we have celebrated many victories for Rhode Islanders. Under his presidency, the Senate has been a leading force on climate action, renewable energy, the growth of the blue economy, paid family leave, doula coverage, and so much more. The Senate has led the way in critical steps to address Rhode Island's healthcare crisis by making healthcare more accessible and affordable. We have championed efforts to strengthen and expand Rhode Island's early childhood and education system and protect the rights of our special education students. We have provided meaningful tax relief to Rhode Island small businesses, seniors, and veterans, and so much more. The Senate has unquestionably and undoubtedly been a force for progress and a powerful advocate for Rhode Islanders. That is due in large part to our ability to unite in a common purpose. But there is so much more work ahead of us, especially now. We are about to confront many serious challenges facing Rhode Island at a time when the leadership of the states is critical. Donnie has shown his willingness to listen and to adapt, at times at a significant personal cost, something that is not lost on me as a pro-choice, openly queer senator. I ask you to join me in supporting President Ruggiero. Thank you.
Are there any further nominations for office of president? Chairman White.
Thank you, Chairman. We've had a rough couple of years in the Senate. Tonight's not our best showing, but I want to say welcome to the new members. It's not always this exciting when we get together for caucuses. And I have to say that this is not a decision, and this is not a conversation that I know has been easy for any of us. I've talked to many members over the last few weeks, and I think one of the things that is so important to recognize is that so many people feel so strongly about where and how this conversation has evolved over the last couple months because we work so closely together, because we have such respect for each other, and because we put in so much of our time and so much of our attention to serve the people of the state of Rhode Island. But I would say because of the position that I've been honored to hold for the last couple of years, I'm up here tonight to ask you to support Senator Pearson for Senate President. And I think that some folks in this room are surprised to know that. And I will tell you that my experience in the last few weeks of the Senate and as serving as the Judiciary Chair, we see and hear some of the most stressful pieces of legislation that comes through the chamber, the topics that we hear. It's all the work that we all do. It's stressful. We are high profile. We're dealing, in the public eye, and we're serving the people of our state. It's a lot of pressure. And the thing that has been really striking to me was trying to address for the unfortunate absence of the Senate President over the last 2 years. I saw the toll that took on the staff. I saw the toll that took on fellow senators. it didn't allow us to be our best. It did not allow us to be our best. And again, it's not easy for me to be up here and addressing you in this way. And I know that this has been a hard conversation and a stressful conversation for everyone. But as I've been talking to members, and I started talking to Senator Pearson about what issues have been in front of the Senate, talking about plans to help bring the Senate together, to help address all of the issues facing the people of our state. And I was so pleased to see that not only had he thought about it, but he had a detailed plan about how we could make sure that there was, more of a democratic process, bringing more folks, going back to having regular chairs meetings, going back to having additional input, having a committee process similar to what he ran when he was the finance chair. And so those of you who have been serving, you know that those committee discussions that you have both before and after with your committee members about the hearing, we know that the legislative process, the public hearings are only part of that conversation, but it's the conversation among members that really matters. And Senator Pearson has come up with a way to make that more democratic, more inclusive, and to have that be spread out. Because one of the things that we also know for those folks who have served is that the work in the General Assembly, it ebbs and flows. So we have the time at the beginning of the year where you do the bill introduction, and then there's the hearings are heavy in the middle, and then everything passes at the end. For those of us who have day jobs, that's a challenge. It's a challenge to be able to balance your day job and to be able to balance the needs of the Senate. And the fact that Ryan had thought through all of that and really tried to think about how to bring members into the fold earlier into the process, so we're not just at the end of the year, wait, what are we passing? Where's my bill? What does it have a House counterpart? What's the trade? So the fact that he's trying to take those elements of confusion and chaos out of the end of the year and really better appropriate our time, I was really impressed by that vision. And so I am up here today to ask you to join me in supporting Senator Ryan Pearson for the caucus nominee. Thank you.
Are there any further remarks? Senator DeMarco. Chairwoman DeMarco.
Thank you, colleagues. To our new colleagues, it was a pleasure to meet you tonight. I look forward to working with you in the coming session. Like Senator Oyer, I struggled a lot with this decision about who will be our next Senate president. I have been a member of the Senate for the last 4 years, and for the new members, I think if you ask any of our existing members, they will tell you that I take this work very seriously. I work very hard on the issues that I care about. I work very hard to represent my constituents. This past Tuesday, our districts all elected or re-elected us to come up to the State House and represent their interests, and to be able to use our voice and our power and our position there to be able to advance things for our communities and to be able to advance things for the people of Rhode Island. I take that duty very seriously. My loyalty is to the constituents that have sent me here more than any one person in this room. Love you all, new people. I'm sure I'll get to love you too. But I have to stay true to the ideals of representing the people who sent me here. Senator Pearson, since my time as a freshman, when he was finance chair, has always had an open and responsive door to questions that I've had. In his time as majority leader, he has helped me advance my priorities. He's helped me figure out how to navigate systems. And I know that that is the type of leadership that he would bring to the Senate presidency. In addition to that, in making this decision, I requested to have information about, as Senator Oyer was alluding to, how do we know that this next session is going to be different? What is the plan? How do we make sure that we have a unified, productive, and functional leadership team that listens and responds to every member in this room? And I will also say, to the members of our chamber who are not in this room, because we do have some Republican colleagues that deserve to have their voices heard too. My standard here was to request, what is that plan for next session? What are our policy priorities going to be? And what is that improved communication plan going to look like? And only one candidate for Senate President responded to that request. Senator Pearson laid out a vision, he laid out policy priorities. He talked about how to make sure that this is an inclusive chamber and an inclusive leadership team where leadership was not just talking to some people in the room, but instead was communicating with everybody in the room. As a basic standard, I believe that our Senate leadership should be able to pick up the phone and have a conversation with any member of that chamber, Democrat, Republican, anybody that they may have had a personal conflict with. We need to be able to have open conversations. We have a serious task ahead of us for the next 2 years. We are facing a serious budget deficit. We are facing the reality of what a Trump administration is going to look like. We need a leadership team that is able to be proactive, responsive, and again, above all, communicative. I want us all to be able to work together and to hit the ground running in January, and for that reason, I'm supporting Ryan Pearson for Senate President. Thank you.
Are there any further nominations for caucus nominee for Senate President? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. Senator-elect Dimitri.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the floor be closed to further nominations for the caucus nominee for Senate President.
Is there a second? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. I will call upon Senator DePalma at this time to call the roll of senators. Members, please respond by stating the name of the candidate for whom they wish to vote.
Is there no discussion on the candidate?
I think we proceed. As the caucus chair indicated, please indicate for whom you wish to vote. Senator Bazillion.
Ruggiero.
Senator Bazillion.
Alphabetical order, no?
The same way we did last one.
The same way we did last one, me first.
You used the alphabetical one on the last one.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
That's why he has his glasses on.
Take it off. Instead of none of it up, and not see with the glass.
Here up a second. We'll start that over. So, please indicate your selection for Senate President. Senator Acosta.
Pearson.
Senator Apolonio.
Ruggiero.
Senator Apolonio Ruggiero, Senator Acosta Pearson. Senator Bell.
Abstain.
I don't have a column for that. Senator Bell abstained. Senator Bazillion.
Ruggiero.
Senator Bazillion, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Brito.
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Brito, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Burke.
Ruggiero.
Senator Burke, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Chacon.
Ruggiero.
Senator Chacon, Senator Ruggiero. By the way, I don't want John Paxton's job. Senator DeMario.
Senator Pearson.
Senator DeMario, Senator Pearson. Senator Dimitri.
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Dimitri, Senator Ruggiero. Senator DePalma, Senator Ruggiero, Senator DePalma, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Oyer.
Pearson.
Senator Oyer, Senator Pearson. Senator Feelag.
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Feelag, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Gallo.
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Gallo, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Gu.
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Gu, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Coleman.
Senator Pearson.
Senator Coleman, Senator Pearson. Senator Lamountain.
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Lamountain, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Lauria.
Present.
Senator. Okay. I got a different one now. Okay, present over here.
I got an abstaining, sorry. Senator Lawson?
Ruggiero.
Senator Lawson, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Mack?
Senator Pearson.
Senator Mack, Senator Pearson. Senator McKinney?
Dominic Ruggiero.
Senator McKennedy, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Murray?
Ruggiero.
Senator Murray, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Padalano?
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Padalano, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Pearson?
Pearson.
Senator Pearson, Senator Pearson. Senator Quezada?
Senator Pearson.
Senator Quezada, Senator Pearson. Senator Raptakis?
By proxy, Senator Ruggiero.
Ruggiero, proxy. Senator Ruggiero?
Ruggiero.
Senator Ruggiero, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Sosnowski?
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Sosnowski, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Thompson?
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Thompson, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Tokoyan?
Senator Dominic J. Ruggiero.
Senator Tokoyan, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Utafusa?
Senator Pearson.
Senator Utafusa, Senator Pearson. Sorry. Senator Urso?
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Urso, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Valverde?
Senator Pearson.
Senator Valverde, Senator Pearson. Senator Vargas?
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Vargas, Senator Ruggiero. Senator Zuri?
Senator Ruggiero.
Senator Ruggiero, Senator Zurier, Senator Ruggiero. We have one present, we have one abstain, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 for Senator Ruggiero. That includes one proxy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for Senator Pearson.
Thank you, Mr.
I ask the Senate President to join us for some remarks.
Well, good evening. That was interesting. I haven't been through anything like that, so I think it's an interesting process in government. Thank you, David and Melissa, for nominating me and all of my colleagues. It's truly humbling to receive the endorsement of this caucus to serve another term as your Senate President. I have tremendous respect and admiration for everyone in this room. I think it takes a lot to run for office, period. Never mind go through what you go through every time you go up that State House. So thank you very much. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you for everything you do. Members of this chamber are leaders of excellency and dedication. Each of you are committed to making our state an even greater place to live and work. I am honored to serve alongside all of you. I also want to join in welcoming our new members to the chamber. Congratulations to them and to all of you on your election victories, and I look forward to working together. It is no secret that I've had a challenging spring and summer. I want to thank all of you for your concern and your encouragement during that process. Your kindness has been overwhelming. say that I have been heartened by the outpourings of support I received would be an understatement. It has been overwhelming, and I deeply appreciate it. I am feeling much better though, and each day I get a little stronger on my journey to a full recovery. I also know that the past month has not been easy on any of you. Thank you for your patience throughout this process. Now the elections are behind us. For the sake of our beloved Senate institution and for the sake of our constituents, it's time to move past our differences and to come together to work on many issues facing our state. While no one has a monopoly on good ideas, I look forward to working with all of you, all the leaders in this room, to strengthen our state. I also want to highlight some of the areas we are focused on ongoing into the 2025 year session. Last year, this chamber led the way in addressing our healthcare crisis.
That's scary.
Good job, Frank.
All right.
I'll liven it up a little.
While much was done, consider the work that remains. The chief focus for us remains on requiring a rate review process, particularly for primary care providers. As Senator Pam Lauria and others have noted, even the primary care providers are having difficulty finding individuals to help them. The commission was sponsored by Senator Susan Sosnowski, who is also a member and is being chaired by Senator Pamela Lauria. Additionally, the work of the commission examining the primary care provider workforce is well underway. As part of its mission, this commission is examining the feasibility of establishing a medical school at URI. We need to ensure that private insurance reimbursement rates are not lower than the Medicaid rate. And that is the consumers who receive the total value of prescription drug assistance to afford their treatments. As Senator Robert Brittle proposed in legislation that was part of the Senate's Rhode Island Health Initiative last season. We must find an appropriate permanent revenue stream to fund the psychiatric resource program, which treats children and new parents and graduate students who perform services should be entitled to Medicaid reimbursement, as proposed by Senator Alana DeMario. The Senate will also continue to lead on environmental issues. The Plastic Waste Commission is conducting its work under the chairmanship of Senator Mark McKinney. And Senator Zuri is proposing a new commission which to monitor implementation of the Act on Climate. We will push to fully fund the EC4, the Executive Climate Change Coordinating Council, so that it can do its vital work. And our efforts will continue as we work to reform and improve the Coastal Resource Management Council. The final area I want to touch upon this evening is the budget. We're expecting a tighter budget cycle than we have experienced in the past several years. It is important that we maintain the initiatives fought for by the members of this chamber and relied upon by Rhode Islanders, and that we continue to work for initiatives and investments that improve our economic competitiveness. We have been through difficult budget times before, and these goals are possible. Rhode Island residents and businesses depend upon the relief we have provided in recent years, from the elimination of the car tax to the new tangible tax exemption championed by Senator Melissa Murray. At the same time, we need to continue investing in job training and improving our career pathways, such as through Senator Hannah Gallo's CTE pipeline legislation. And we will work to enact legislation that protects consumers, including enactment of Senator Linda Ujafus's junk feed bill. In closing, I want to offer heartfelt congratulations to our new majority leader, Val Lawson. You are a dedicated and principled leader who will help advance the priorities of all the members of this chamber. I look forward to working alongside you in partnership with all the members of our chamber as a strong and united Senate in the upcoming session. I know this will be a difficult session because we do not have the revenue that we had previously. But I think that if we work hard, I think we can get over the hump. But it's going to take sacrifice, and it's going to take everything we have going for it, and obviously we can't start any new programs. So that's basically it. I want to thank the new people for their support. I certainly want to thank the people who I've worked with in the past, and I certainly want to continue to work with those individuals that I've worked with over a long period of time. You will find that I will be much more available than I have been in the past couple months. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for everything you do. And as I say all the time, if I can be of assistance to you, my door is right down the hall, and I also have an invention called a telephone at home. So you can utilize that, and like I said, I look forward to working with everyone here, and I think the Senate will be, like it has been in the past, very successful. So thank you all for coming this evening, and I think we're having dinner tonight, and enjoy dinner.
I would ask that Senator De Palma, as Secretary of the Caucus, cause the actions taken in this caucus to be appropriately recorded. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn. So So
Chairman,
moved.
I move that this caucus be adjourned.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. The ayes have it, we stand adjourned. Thank you.